Okay, hey guys, so tonight's video is gonna be coming from a script that I actually had to write. It is a very, very serious topic, and I believe I did not finish the script, so I'm just gonna read what I have. Hopefully I don't get too emotional. If I do, I have paper towels here, because I'm cheap and lazy and don't want to go downstairs to get some tissues. But I am a little sick. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I do have like nasally, and then I am continuously coughing. So excuse that throughout the video. And then I might be putting on hand sanitizer, or this might be the only time. I don't even know yet. Let's jump right into it. When I was about 4 to 7 years old, my Uncle Rob started to molest me. His name really isn't Rob. It's just, with like, I don't even know what it's called. I just know that I had to change it, otherwise I could get in trouble with like some type of law or something. Wow, this is horrible. I want to go to college to be a lawyer, but I don't even know like which law it would be that I could get in trouble for right now. Perfect sense. Okay. Every time he came over, my sisters and I got really happy because we thought we couldn't get in trouble when he was here. But we were wrong. Anyways, he would come, my sisters would give him a hug and a kiss hello. Like, it wouldn't just be like with my sisters, it would just be like a hi. Like sometimes it would be on the cheek or something like that. But when it came to me, he always kissed me on the lips. He tried kissing me as often as he could. It was just really disturbing. And then it would be my turn to say hello. So I did what my sisters did, gave him a hug and a kiss. And it wasn't like, I would always try to go and kiss him on the cheek, but, like, he would always turn his head or something, so that it always ended up being on his lips. Gave him a hug and a kiss, but his hands would travel to my butt, or my buttocks, if you would prefer me to say that. He would pull me in for a tight hug, and his hands would slowly start to travel, and it was just craziness. He always told me, man, I can't wait till you're 21 and legal. Thinking back to when I was 7, I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to be 21, ready to go out and drink. Not very often, though, because I do have a history of alcoholics in my family. So I was pre-warned, technically I'm not supposed to have any alcohol, but I mean, what teenager doesn't experiment? Not that I want any of you to go out and drink or do drugs or any of that. Like, I do not support that, but, but now that I look back and think about what he's done to me, I think that maybe he was going to take me out on my 21st birthday, get me drunk, and rape me. I had always said to my friends they knew him as my rapist uncle, because for many, many years, I will admit I was naive. I didn't know what molestation was until one day I got annoyed and I looked it up. And that's the day that I realized that I had been molested for years. And since the day I found out, I had always made plans, like, for my 21st birthday. If he was going to take me out for my first legal drink, it would not just be me and him. It would be me, him, and my friends. That way my friends would know and they would stop anything. Oh, sorry guys, my lips were dry. And it was very annoying. For years he would say that to me every time he came over. And last Christmas in 2014, when I went down to see my mom because she lived at practically the Kentucky border of Kentucky and Illinois. And there was one day their neighbor Trey was dog sitting a little puppy. Yeah, okay, I did say their neighbor. He was dog sitting a little puppy, and he had brought the puppy to where my mom and my little sister had lived. And it had been raining earlier that day. So, I can't remember the dog's name, but the dog was shaking because he was cold. I was holding the puppy, you know, like really close, trying to warm him up. And that was when my little sister was trying to, like, take the puppy. Okay, so, like, let's say the paper towels are the puppy. You know, I was holding the puppy, like, really close. And my little sister just comes up, goes like this, and tries to take the dog. So, I had said, Amanda, stop it. And she was like, And then Rob had said something, leave the puppy where he knows there's a warm boob. Now, me being me and figuring out what molestation was, like, years ago, this just happened last year. So, I'm sorry guys. I am so tired. I've been working on, like, a lot of stuff lately. But, you know, years after figuring out what molestation was, you know, I tried avoiding him as much as possible. I started acting out anytime he came over. I would, you know, just put in my headphones and ignore him. But if anyone else talked to me, I'd be like, hey. But when he talked to me, headphone in, world out. But, you know, like, me being me, after figuring out what molestation was, I had told him, I think this is exactly what I said to him, but I'm not 100% sure. I told him, I had to write it down because I keep forgetting exactly what I had said, but all I really, like, I remember his response, like, what he said, like, verbatim, word for word. I said something like, you are never allowed to think of or imagine my boobs. Oh, sorry. He replied to me by saying, a man can dream, can he? I said no. And then about 5 to 10 minutes later, I started feeling, like, really uncomfortable. So I gave the puppy to my little sister finally, and then I left the room. Thankfully, he didn't touch me on the way to my mom's or on the way home, But then again, I think maybe he didn't touch me because at the time I had a boyfriend and we were texting and on the phone the whole time. So maybe Rob knew that if he tried anything, I could and would have told my boyfriend. My boyfriend and I later broke up because I learned something, and that will... Okay, I learned something about him, and that's like a whole other video. And I will make that video eventually. This all just stopped about 3.5, 4 months ago. The day it stopped, my Uncle Rob came over unannounced. And it was supposed to be just me home alone. But my cousin Jasmine, I'm not sure if I uploaded the video. I don't think I did. But there's another video that I'll be uploading at a later time. With her, and it was she had spent the night, and so I'm sorry you guys, a sickness, and then I'm trying to imagine the story as if it happened to someone else, because if I imagine it as it was happening to me, I'll start to get flashbacks, and then I'll keep going like this till like I'm fully covered, and you know. Oh, and for those of you that are gonna say something about the shirt, oh, it says 25. I thought it said 22 earlier. Whatever. You know, don't ask me what team it is. I do not know. I just like the number 25. So, I don't even know anything about football. And it has NFL, so I'm assuming the F stands for football. National Football League, I think. I don't know. Anyways, back to the story. She had spent the night. He came over about 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And my dad got off work at 5. So... Jazzy spent that night too. We were watching TV with Rob, and the housemate Jay came home from work, and he and I were talking in the kitchen. He said Rob gave him a creepy vibe, and I told him, remember me telling you about my creepy rapist uncle? He said, that's him? I said yes. And by this time my dad was home, and he had been home for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. But Jay said, you are not going back in there till he's gone. Jazzy was in the room where the front room. Jazzy was in the front room with my dad and Rob. Jay went in there, and asked me, well, before he went in there, he had asked me if there was anything from there that I had wanted. And you know, I had my little computer down there. In the coffee table, there's, okay, so like right here is the couch, right here is the coffee table. The side of the coffee table that's facing the couch, it has like little hidden doors type things, I guess. And if you open them, like I had my computer sitting right there because my dad didn't know about the computer at the time. And so I'm like, yeah, I want my computer. So he went in the room and got Jasmine. He went in there trying to find it, but he couldn't. So he said, Jazzy, can I talk to you for a minute in the kitchen? She said, sure. They both came back and said, so that's a creepy uncle that's been doing this? Jazzy said yes. Jay then said she wants her laptop, but I couldn't find it. Do you know where it is? She said yes. So she went, got my laptop, and all three of us were playing on our laptops. Then we got hungry, so Jay ordered food. When I got to my house, we were eating, and Rob came into the kitchen and tried to take some food. Jay stepped in his way since he bought the food and said, "What do you think you're doing?" Rob said, "Getting some food." Jay replied, "No, you're not. That's ours." Rob said, "So I can't have any?" Jay said, "No." Rob left the room. Later that night, around 12:31 a.m., Rob leaves. He overstayed his welcome like he always does. He's literally there from like 1 or 2 in the afternoon or earlier, and he stays till like between 11:30 and 1 a.m. Like, no, hello. It could be a Sunday night. We could all have school and everything in the morning. You know, whatever. And he will still stay that late. Like, bruh. Bruh. Go home. Ain't nobody want you here. And my dad was just about to go to bed when Jay said, "Hold on. Crystal needs to talk to you for a minute." Then he looked at me. Jay looked at me and said, "Do you want us to stay or leave?" I said stay. Now, the reason I said stay was because I knew that if it was just me and my dad, I would have come up with some excuse, you know. Like, "Oh yeah, Dad, they just wanted me to remind you, you know, how much I love you and how much I appreciate everything you do for me," and just like stupid stuff like that. So I'm like, no, I know I'm gonna do that. I need them to stay in order for me to tell my dad the truth. And literally, I broke down in tears because my dad, he was going to go make the coffee. I'm like, "Dad, I don't like being around Uncle Rob." And he was like, "Care to elaborate?" And for those of you that don't know what elaborate means, it means, would you care to explain? Elaborate is to explain, something like that, I think. So I started crying and all of that. And I pretty much told him everything. Again, like I didn't say this earlier, I am not doing this for sympathy. You know, I don't want you guys to go in the comments and saying, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that you had to go through this," or something like that. I don't want sympathy. You know, I don't want you guys to look at me any differently than, you know, your best friend or your mom or your, like, someone. I don't want to be looked at as a victim. You know, yes, this may have, like, just stopped recently. But, you know, I'm not doing this for sympathy. I'm not pressing charges on him. I just want it all to go away. And, you know, if I'm getting sympathy for it, it won't help. So please, no sympathy. Yeah, it was a shitty experience, but I'm gonna do with it like I do with every other thing in my life, especially if it's a negative. I turn it into a positive and I use it to help my friends and my family and the people that I care about. So far I'm still turning it into a positive, you know, but it takes time. So, what's it called? I mean, up until 5 or 6 months ago, I would not. It was my deepest, darkest secret until then. And even then, the only person that I told was my friend. Kat. I'm not saying her full name, but my friend Kat. And, you know, she just completely understood. You know, she was fine with it. Like, not, obviously she wasn't fine, but she had actually met my Uncle Rob, and the first time that they met, you know, he was just like, oh, you gonna give me a hug? So she ended up just going to give him a hug, and then Rob and I ended up driving her home one day, and because she had spent the night at my house, and she had always known him as creepy rapist uncle, or rapist uncle. So I'm actually really surprised I didn't start crying during this video, but again, I think it's just because I'll get back to that other story in a minute. I think it's because I was imagining it as if it was happening to someone else. But anyways, I'm sorry I'm yawning, you guys. It's just I'm exhausted. After this, I'm editing it, posting it, and going to bed. But we were driving her home. Oh, she had spent the night, so in the morning, I was drinking my coffee, you know, whatever, and he had showed up early, like 7, and then, you know, I gave him a hug and a kiss, hello, and then he went and sat down, and he was like, hey, have we met before? She was like, yeah, I think we met like once before or something like that. And he was like, alright, come give me a hug, hello. And then, you know, she went and she gave him a hug, and he was like, what, no kiss? So she went and she tried to go kiss him on the cheek, you know, whatever. But again, like he did to me, he turned his head, so it was on the lips. And after I had gotten home and got rid of him, Kat had messaged me on Facebook saying, yeah, I understand 100% now why you call him creepy rapist uncle. And that was before I told her. Actually, it wasn't 100% before, but it was like I was hinting at stuff at the time. So yeah. I'm sorry, I know this is probably like a boring video to a lot of people, but like I'm really not doing this for sympathy, you know. I don't want someone to go in the comments and say, oh my gosh, like, I'm so sorry. Because I will admit to you guys, I am in counseling right now, kind of. My school does this, like, counseling thing where we take in, like, counseling interns and we help them, like, become counselors or whatever. And they have that program at my school, and I am one of the people that is in the program. So, I mean, today was my first, you know, like, meeting, I guess, counseling session, whatever. You know, I did dig a little bit into what happened, but YouTube videos, music, softball, and writing have always been my, like, go-tos for when I have, when I have, a flashback or something. It, like, writing just, like, it helps me process my thoughts. And then like softball, you know, I get to be violent, because it's actually a lot deeper than that. When I was little, I played softball every summer for the Berwyn Little League. And you know, Rob was not allowed at my game or practices because my parents didn't want him there. So, you know, he wasn't there or anything. So, I mean, not seeing him really helped me, like, focus on the game and all that stuff. I forgot what else I was going to say. I am so sorry, you guys. I keep yawning. I had such, like, a crazy week, okay? I wrote, like, 4 articles for journalism. I have to get pictures for this one article. I have to, and that article is due on Tuesday, so tomorrow my teacher is gonna read it, and then she's gonna tell me where I need to make the changes and all of that. I'm sorry, I feel like a hair right there. Oh hey, it was still attached to my head. And all of that stuff, so. And also, my friend Kevin has a YouTube channel. I do watch his videos. I will admit he is not the most popular on YouTube, but you know what? He's my friend, and he has no idea that I'm even doing this. So I will link his channel in the description below. Bunny. In my last video, I was wearing a green shirt. I wore that. You can find more information, like, about Bunny in that video, so, yeah. I will link my friend Kevin's channel in the description. So go check out his channel and subscribe. Who knows, we might do a video together. I want to actually do a video with Kevin because I think that would be fun. The only thing is that we couldn't record it up here because I recorded my room, and my dad has like this really strict rule, no guys in my room. Fun. So yeah. I just really hope him and I can make a video together sometime, you know. Him and I have been talking today about like his channel, because you know he has like 12 videos I think going up before Monday. He told me that he's in the process of editing them now, so shout out to Kevin. I'm such a weirdo. But yeah, like, no sympathy for this video. I do not want it. And so, I guess that is it. Feel free to go and check out my other videos. Subscribe. I try to put out new videos every Wednesday, but you know, it's Thursday today, so I get it up sometime during the week. I know that. You know, I pretty much film it, edit it, and upload it all on the same day. So, oh well. Alright. I will catch you guys in my next video. Ooh, what is up with my hair? So, okay. I love you guys. Bye.